And thank you so much, team. Good morning, ladies. Welcome to our session this morning. Good morning, girls. I see the girls in Rosh Pina are very energetic this morning. What about my girls in Rangathmut? I know they have numbers, but I really fighting for my girls in Rangathmut over there. Amazing. Good to see that you have lots of energy. I hope everyone is really excited for our session this morning. We are really excited to be hosting it. I have some really special guests on the call who have been really dying and itching to meet with you all today. My name is Atu. You can call me Miss Atu or Ma'am Atu, though I'm not that old, so don't feel like you need to call me that. But I am a project manager here at WOMENG, which stands for Women in Engineering. So we are a nonprofit organization based in South Africa, but we do lots of work in Namibia, Botswana, South Africa, Canada, and the UK, along with our partners, De Beers Group. And in Namibia, we work with the Deb Marine Foundation. So we're really honored to be meeting with you today. Though we wish we could be there physically, we were there about a month ago in Keetmans. So hopefully next year we can make a trip to Rosh Pina and also to Rangathmut, and we can have fun workshops together and we get to engage and know each other a bit more. But for today, we are meeting online. So I hope that even as you are in your groups today, you'll be able to engage with other girls, meet new girls you've never met before, have conversations, ask your teachers, Gloria, Charity, and also the ladies on the call today. I'm sure if you wanted to reach out to them after this, they'd be open to that as well. Yes, so we'll just begin. So what is our mission today? So our mission today is to learn more about engineering and technology, about the different opportunities and various engineering and technology fields, and also for you to be able to ask your burning questions. So that's why we have a panel of engineers here today, engineering and tech professionals who can answer some of the questions that you've maybe had thinking about going into this field. Because sometimes we sit in our silos, we only think about specific careers and we don't know what we don't know. So there's no such thing as a stupid question today. If you have a question, just raise your hand or come up to the front. But yeah, this is really a time for you. It's not for us to come and sit here and do presentations, but it's really for you to gain knowledge and to be able to ask what's on your heart. So this session is being recorded so that we can share it on YouTube. Well, you guys aren't actually online, but basically, if you have any reactions, do feel free to raise your hand, let your teachers know. If you want to share something with us, we're always open and willing to hear what you have to say. And then some safe space rules. So engaging and idea sharing is encouraged. An idea shared makes an audience richer. So don't feel like you are alone in the question that you have. Probably your neighbor has the same question, or some other girl in the room or on the call has the same question. So actually you sharing what you want to ask can help the next person. So don't feel shy. This is not a shy space, right? And there are no stupid questions, no such thing as a stupid question. So feel free to ask. And we also want to make sure that you have lots of fun. So fun is strictly advised. If it gets boring at any point, please raise your hand and tell me, and we'll make a whole plan, like a whole new plan, because what we want you to get out of this is your questions answered, but also in a fun, engaging way. So that is our mission for today. I'll breeze through it quickly. So what we're going to do is talk a little bit about the world of engineering and tech. I'm not sure how clearly you can see whatever's on the screen. If you're struggling to see anything, we'll make sure that these are sent to your teachers so that you have resources that you can look at afterwards. But I do believe you have these books that have been given to you or will be given to you. And all of this information is also in there for you to look at after this session, even during the session, actually. But basically, we're going to go through like the world of engineering and tech. What is an engineer? What do you think about when you think of an engineer? And then we're going to actually have conversations with actual engineers so that they can debunk whatever you think engineering is or whatever you think engineers should look like, because they are really stunning. They're from Namibia, and you'll hear more about them a little bit later as well. So they're like you, essentially, people that were you in this position and now they are where they are. So they really are a form of inspiration for me as well, to be honest. Okay, so if you found the page in your book, it shows here all of the different types of engineering careers that you can get into. So engineering is broken up into all these different disciplines. So you can just be an engineer, but underneath that you are maybe a chemical engineer, mechanical engineer, civil engineering, electrical engineering, and then there's all these new disciplines that are coming in that incorporate other industries as well, like biomedical engineering. So that brings in your medicine with your engineering, and a bit of mechanical in there. And then you've got aeronautical engineers, and they work with airplanes and what is it that astronauts get on? Rocket ships, you know, those fun things. And then audio engineers who help with getting like, help people who may be disabled get like audio devices. So they help with all of the technology behind that. You've got your industrial engineers, and that's all about processes and systems and making sure that they have those systems in place in any organization. And then you've got robotics, which is very cool because you get to basically make robots move. You tell it to go forward, it goes forward. You tell it to go sideways, it goes sideways. There's military engineering, security, engineering mathematics, and then even within your typical engineering fields, like electrical, you've got computer, electronic, optical, under chemical, that also goes broadly, and you can look at different things. Civil, which is your water, transport, bridges, things that you see on a daily basis, roads, environmental, mining, geotechnical. We actually have a geotechnical engineer here with us, rock engineering. So there really is no limit to what an engineer can become or be. So whatever, I always say, whatever your interest is, bring it into the engineering field, and there will definitely be an opportunity for you in that space. Just by a show of hands, how many of you are interested in fashion, maybe? Who likes to dress up? Amazing. I see my girls there in Orangutan. There's so many, you know, stylists in the making and fashion designers in the making. Did you know that you could bring engineering and fashion together as well? So you can, actually. I'll show an example a little bit later, but that's just to show that whatever you're interested in, you can bring it into this field. Could be cosmetics that goes into chemical. It could be, you know, maybe you're interested in cars, mechanical. So there's a lot of different opportunities within the world of engineering and technology. And it's just a field that's so dynamic and so open, and really accommodating of everyone's interests. Oops, maybe let's go back. So let me ask someone in the room, what do you think engineers are? I think Roshpina has been a bit quiet. Anyone in Roshpina want to answer what they think an engineer is, or what do they do? Oh, I see someone coming to the front. Okay.
Hold on, all right. We're just going to meet that challenge right there.
I think it's someone that solves problems.
Love that. What's your name?
My name is Griselda.
Griselda. Thank you so much, Griselda. So an engineer is somebody who solves problems. Amazing. Okay, what do you have to say in Arabic mood?
My name is Julia, and I think
Oh, we're struggling to hear her. Charity, could you come closer to the screen maybe?
my name is Julia, and I think engineers are people who come up with new ideas.
Better? People who come up with new ideas.
Amazing. And that's Julia, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julia. Thank you so much, Griselda. Can we give them a round of applause, everyone? Amazing. So basically what you said is engineers come up with cool new ideas. So they're innovators, they're inventors, things like that. And then also that they are problem solvers. So that is right on the money. You guys have been really doing your research. So well done to you. So engineers, they are futurists, which is just a fancy way of saying they think about the future. They plan for the future. They're not stuck in the now, right? So they always have their mind on what can 2030 look like? What kind of ideas can we incorporate to make our lives easier, to make our work better, make it safer. We're going to hear from a mining engineer, and she'll probably speak a lot about safety because we know that that's really important in mines. Namasiko's laughing. And engineers are also strategists. So they think strategically because they have to think about the future. They have to think strategically, actually. And they are also artists. I'm sure you never thought an engineer would be an artist because they seem very like straight and they just want lines to be straight, and you know, their kind of designs are a little bit rigid, but they can be quite artistic, actually. So they're a mixture of artists, scientists, and physicians, basically. And they plan for the world looking at it 50 to 100 years from now. So we'll see a few examples of what engineers have done in the world today. So here we have 3D printing. So this is a house that was printed using 3D printing. Does anyone know how long it takes to traditionally build a house? Like a simple, maybe 1-bedroom house. How long do you think it would take? Maybe Gloria can collate some answers for me. I'm hearing everything from everywhere. Okay.
Yeah. Oranje has consensus on 4 to 6 months.
Okay. Okay. Really good. 4 to 6 months. Yeah. If you have all of your money and you have all of your laborers and you have all of your materials all at once, it can take about 4 to 6 months. How long do you think it took to build this house?
Someone says 6, or they say 6 to 9 months.
We have 1.5 months.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to shock everyone and telling them that it took 1 day to build this house. It was 3D printed and it took 1 day. So there's this massive machine and it prints out all of these panels and all of these things that you see in this house. And all they have to do is come and put it together. So it takes about a day. There isn't brick, there isn't mortar, there isn't all of the labor that goes into it. And now somebody has a brand new house that they can go live in within a day. And this is what engineers came up with. So you can already see that the future we're living in is going to look very different, right? It may be more expensive right now to build this house, but in 50 to 100 years from now, it's going to be the new normal. And we'll work a lot less to get something that we've been working for 4 to 6 months, right? So thank you so much for engaging, everyone. Also, we have new transportation systems, right? So thinking about emerging technologies, like this little plane car thing that you see, I personally hope we don't ever get to this because it might be really chaotic in the sky. You know, people are already such bad drivers on the ground. Imagine now if everyone is flying. But this is where we're going to. And we have things like the Tesla, that already is something really innovative. We don't have to use fuel for the Tesla, we use electricity. Now, if we can just get a secure electrical supply, not in South Africa, because here we have load shedding, but somewhere, other places in the world, they have such secure systems that they can have things like the Tesla and save a lot of money and a lot of stress because they don't have to buy fuel, which is going up every month now, right? 5 Rand or 5 Namibian dollars every month. And then earlier I mentioned that.
We just have a question on the new transport, right? Yes. Where's the space for the luggage? Where's my clothes? You know, I'm engineer and fashionista, and I need space for my clothes.
It's a good question, Charity. Maybe in the future we'll have, you know, you can wear all your outfits in one and then just change them as you need to. But women will always have luggage, I agree. So earlier I spoke about fashion, and see, this is fashion, technology, and engineering in one. So if you look on the left and the right, it's actually quite old technology. Hopefully we can get it here in Africa soon. But if you look at the picture, there's a lady dressed in the red. And what she did is she went on the screen and she picked an outfit that she'd like to try on. And what the mirror is showing her is what she would look like in the outfit. So it's taking what she's already looking like and just putting her in the clothes that she wants to buy. So no more waiting in queues. How many of you guys wait in queues at a Mr. Price or something for hours? I see lots of hands going up. You even get tired, right? I don't even want to buy these clothes anymore. It's okay, I'll come buy tomorrow. But now we have technology that saves us that time. And we can see what we look like accurately, and we can buy those clothes right off the bat. So this is technology that already exists in Europe and in the US, and hopefully one of you guys will bring it here because you're all future engineers in the making. And then, of course, we have artificial intelligence. So I know we're all scared of robots taking over the world and taking over our jobs. But one thing that AI cannot do is have emotion or empathy or feelings. That is something that you and I bring to the table as humans. So they will always need a human element to the design of AI. And AI is not limited to robotics. We actually use AI every day. Some of you had to come here using GPS, or you order food and there's GPS that's used in that. Most of your apps, actually, when they're tracing your location, everything uses some sort of AI technology. So it's nothing to be scared of. It's just ways of using technology to make our lives easier, to help us to even be connected more. So try and reframe the way that you think about AI as something that's exciting, something you can all be a part of, something you already do on a day-to-day basis. And then we have opportunities in biotechnology. So this incorporates engineering and science or medical, in the medical space. So biotechnologists, now we all don't wear masks and walking safely in the streets. And it's because of a group of engineers that came together and a group of medical doctors that came together to come up with this new technology that would help save the world. And then we have data mining. I'm sure all of us have phones. How many of us are on one social media app over there? Okay, how many of us have 2 social media apps? Ooh, okay, what about 3? Oh, guys. Should I go higher? I'm a bit scared. So that would be what? TikTok, Instagram, maybe Facebook. I don't think your generation is on Facebook anymore. Twitter. I see some heads shaking. No? What other apps are you guys on?
Printers.
Shout it out.
Snapchat,
Snapchat,
Instagram,
Instagram,
TikTok,
TikTok,
YouTube,
YouTube,
Twitch. Who played it? Reddit.
Reddit.
And it just keeps going.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of us have maybe like 10, minimum 10 social media apps that we're on. And through those apps are actually reading your data, or they're trying to understand who you are. So what a lot of companies do is they sell data to organizations that can sell something back to you. So I don't know if any of you have ever seen, just maybe you were talking with a friend, or you searched one time a lamp or this cute top from Mr. Price, and then all of a sudden you just keep seeing adverts for clothing, you know, or a new phone. Maybe you were searching for a phone one time, and now Samsung is just pushing all of these different things onto you. But that is what data mining is. It's reading what you're interested in. It's reading what you're searching on, so that it can sell directly to you as the user. So it can sell something that you really, really want and make it easy for you to find it as well. And then we have engineering cities on other planets. So this is still something that's in the making, but I'm sure you've seen people going to Mars, people going to the moon. And what people from NASA right now are trying to do is they're trying to see if there's a way that we can live on another planet, because of the way the world is going, right? It's going like this. So they are thinking ahead, and they're thinking, okay, what happens if we have to move to another planet? Can we actually survive? And they are currently training a little girl, or she's a teenage girl now, to go and be the first person to live on one of these planets. I don't know how many of you would ever want to, how many of us want to live on Mars? I don't think so. What? I'm surprised to see some hands up. I don't want to live on Mars. I want to stay on Earth, you know? It's what I know. I think I'm used to what I know. But clearly, all of you are going to be, some of you are going to be astronauts someday. So that's really exciting. Okay, cool. I'm just checking my time. All right, I think I'm doing well for time. So, okay. So what I'm going to do now is welcome up our speakers, and they're going to share a little bit about themselves, and then also you're going to get the opportunity now to ask them different questions. So I will like briefly introduce them, and I pray and hope I'm not butchering anyone's name, but we have Karine Ashikoto, and Karine is a mining engineer by profession, and she completed her honors degree at the University of Namibia. She currently works as a process manager at NAMDEB, responsible for the mining operations at Orange River Mines. If Karine can just do a quick wave and hello to the girls.
Hello, girls. Hi, everyone. I hope you can see me.
Hi, Corinne.
Hi, Charity. Hi, Rashpina.
I think something's happening at Rashpina. We've lost video. Is everything okay, Gloria?
All good.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, I think everything's good. Thank you so much, Gloria. And thank you so much, Karine. And then we have Namasiku. And Namasiku Bainga has 6 years of working experience as a systems analyst in the diamond mining industry. She holds an honors degree in computer engineering and a postgraduate diploma in business administration from the University of Namibia. Namasiku is an alumna of President Barack Obama's flagship program, the Mandela Washington Program, worship from Writers University. So maybe Namasiku, you can also just greet the girls.
Good morning, everybody. I have a bit of a flu, so you might see me coughing here at the back. Just forgive me. I hope you guys are all doing well, and welcome to Women Inch.
Thank you so much, Namasiku. We'll be hearing more from her later. Okay, and then we also have Victoria Upindi, who is a geotechnical engineer. So Victoria is a geotechnical engineer, currently working at Rossing Uranium on geometallurgical projects. And she has previously worked in a geotechnical role, managing slope monitoring systems and contracts for drilling to install downhole monitoring instruments and high wall meshing on geologically unstable regions in an open pit as the geological supervisor on Scorpion Mine. She holds a BSc honors in geology, a national diploma in mining geology, and she is currently studying towards a master's in engineering in geotechnical engineering at the University of Cape Town. Welcome, Victoria.
Good morning. I hope everyone can see me. A bit awkward, but I no longer work at Rossing. I'm currently at Roshpina Zinc Mine in Roshpina, working as a technical engineer. So awkward. On the bright side, I have completed my master's, so yay.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful to be here.
And we are so grateful to have you here. Apologies for that. And thank you for clearing it up.
It's so cool.
All right. And then we also have Evelina here, Evelina Amon, who is a mining engineer. And Evelina is a mine overseer for owner stripping operations at Namdeb Diamond Corporation in Southern Coastal Mine. She holds a Bachelor of Engineering degree in mining from NUST, class of 2017, whoop, whoop. And she has been in the mining industry for 5 years, working in zinc and diamond mines. And she has worked for both owner and mining companies for a mining contractor. So welcome, Evelina. Great to have you here.
Thank you, Atu. Morning to our future women in engineering. I hope you'll be getting a lot of insight to engineering from us, and hopefully you get inspired. Apologies for my voice as well. I also have a bit of flu, but hopefully you can hear me clearly.
Oh, sorry about that. I hope everyone feels a lot better. And we appreciate that even though you're sick, you came to this call to engage with the girls. So we really appreciate that. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen just so we can have a conversation now. All right, so I have a few prepared questions just so that you get to know the speakers a bit more, and then we'll open up the floor for your questions, girls. So if you have any question as they're speaking, just write it down, and then we'll get to your question, definitely. So I wanna start with, let's go with Namasiku, and I'll ask this to everyone, but what made you want to become an engineer or tech professional?
So growing up, in our household, you're only given 3 options, right? Like any other Black household. Right? But then my older sister already took the doctor field. So I was left, I had applied for engineering and law after my grade 12. So first choice was engineering, the second choice was law. And then I got accepted into the engineering field and the rest is history. I fell in love after that. So yeah, that's my, that's my story.
Oh, wow. That's a typical African household, I think. So you're not alone. Anyone else can go next.
Okay, maybe if I can go, Karin here. I think for me, growing up, I think as a young girl, I was always fascinated by science. And I think that's how I ended up doing science as a field of study in my high school. So I was particularly interested in anything that has to do with innovation. And I think at the time, engineering for me was a bit popular and it was a fast growing industry in Namibia. It came with a lot of opportunity in terms of scholarship and bursaries. So I knew I was going to do engineering. I just didn't know exactly what it was going to be, whether it's going to be mining or civil. So I did my research, then I stumbled upon mining engineering. It was a bit different. It's not your most popular choice. And the fact that I think it was really male dominated pushed me to want to be there. And that's how I actually ended up as a mining engineer. And I love it from then.
Okay, let me go after my fellow mining engineer, Velina here again. So having completed high school at Rakana, most of us were actually inspired to do electrical engineer or electrical engineering because of the companies that is mostly dominating there. So that's NamPower. Most of the things that we could see there, the good things were actually NamPower properties, NamPower people, and everything there was NamPower. So most of us were actually inspired to get into NamPower, and the quick way to get there was actually to do either electrical or electronic engineering. But then when I started doing my research, I then noticed that the mining industry in Namibia is the backbone of the economy. And I then changed my mind to be part of the industry that is impacting so many lives in the country. And then again, I also read that mining engineers are getting paid more. So I was like, okay, let me go in that industry that is impacting so many lives in the country, and at the same time make quick bucks to change the humble beginnings at home. So that's how I ended up doing mining engineering. And yeah, like Karen, it's really a fun industry. New challenges every day, but never a boring day at work. Thank you.
Hold on. Okay, I guess that just leaves me. Wow, I never planned on being considered an engineer because there are already 2 other engineers in the family. So I wanted to be the scientist. And so I studied geology, and I studied geology because it gave me the best of both worlds, where I could do real science and I could do a lot of outdoors field work. And then I graduated and I started working in mining, and the career track for a geologist in a mine was just so boring. It was just so boring. And then I looked at the geotechnical engineers around me, and they were having so much fun doing field work and calculations and figuring out where to mine and how to mine and all the safety stuff, and building models and figuring out, just the figuring out was just the most exciting thing I could ever imagine. And in that very moment, I decided that this was what I was going to do. And I think I did my rock mechanics strata control ticket first. And then after that, I started doing my master's. And next thing you know, I have the job that I wanted. It just all worked out. So that is how I got here. But yeah, it's always, I think the thing for me was I just wanted to have fun. So that's how I ended up being an engineer. Yeah. Thanks.
Wow. So I love that everyone has a different beginning, but the end point is that everyone is enjoying their field and is enjoying the work that they do.
It really depends on who you are working for. So all engineers are getting paid well, but it really depends on who you are working for. There is no one salary for all of them. So it depends on who you are working for and where you are actually based. But yeah, they get paid well.
Very democratic answer. We love it. Okay. I have one more prepared question. So I hope the girls, you're writing down your questions. They're burning. You can't wait to ask them because I'm going to ask you all in a second what your questions are. But my next question is, so what is a, insert your discipline? Like what is a, I don't know, mining engineer? What is a systems analyst? What is a geotechnical engineer? And what does a day look like for you? Because I know we have 2 mining engineers here, but I'm sure your days look quite different because of where you are based. So we can start with Damasiku again. What is a systems analyst, your English, a systems analyst, and what does a day look like for you?
Okay, so I studied computer engineering. It's a diverse field. You can literally work in any industry. I'm in the mining industry right now. I can go to banking, I can go into health, I can go into robotics, I can go into aerospace, you know, so so basically we just bring the technology. So what I'm doing as a systems analyst for the mine is being a conduit between the business, which is the mining, and technology. So we understand what the mining needs are and what technology we can use in order to enhance or better our revenues, our safety, and things like that, right? So you spoke of data mining. We actually use data mining in mining, where we do what we call predictive analysis, right? So what predictive analysis is, it looks at our previous history, right? And then it creates models of how and where we should mine, almost something similar to what Victoria does, right? But then we have the software that will now collect that data. We create the software that will collect that data and then enhance or tell us where to mine and things like that. Right, we're also looking into bringing in things like autonomous machines, where we now have guys or operators sitting in town, right? Virtually driving machines on the mine. That now covers the safety aspect and things like that. So a typical day for me would be getting into an office, having what we call an end user call me up and say, look, we're currently struggling with this. Is the technology that we can use in order to enhance or better this process? Okay, and then that would then require me to further understand what the requirements are. So we call that user requirements. And then we get into the nitty-gritty of things, and then we then discuss the system requirements, right? And then we then look at, do we have resource within the company in terms of money and skill to create or develop that system or software? If not, then we go out and then look. So all technology fits our environment, right? Similarly, like not all phones is for everyone. Some people prefer Samsung, depending on the needs and the environment they're in. And also money also plays a role. So in summary, that's what I basically do.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Namasiku. Anyone else can go next.
Okay, I think Karen wanted to go.
Okay, can I get No, I can go next. It's not a problem. Maybe she's still getting ready. Okay.
Okay.
The technical. Basically, in a geotechnical engineer studies the earth, right? We study the earth the same way a geologist would, except we use what we find to predict how it's going to behave. So if I see a hard rock, I know that the ground will be strong. We can build on it or we can mine in it. If I see the rock is soft, I try and figure out a way for us to work around the weakness. So when you're in a mine, we're basically digging tunnels underground, right? So it's going to be 5 years of digging tunnels, and the tunnels go deep, maybe 100 meters, maybe 500 meters. In certain parts of the world, you even have tunnels that are 12 kilometers deep all the way. It gets so hot, it gets super heavy. And my job is to make sure that when we are at whatever level underneath the ground, everyone who's working in that place is safe. I need to look at the rocks and basically estimate that, okay, here we want to put maybe something to hold up the rocks. Here we can't mine because here something bad is gonna happen if we mine there. Here we need to put 12 meters of. I look at the rocks and using a combination, I figure out the safest way for everyone to get the metals and the minerals out of the rock, such that everybody's mother and father can go home at night and I can sleep with a safe heart. So that's my job. It's a lot of fun in the sense that the understanding of the rocks is like a combination of physics, chemistry, mathematics, and then you have the safety aspect, and then you have an overall understanding that what you do really, really impacts people's lives, and you want to do the best job you can do to make sure that you never get a call saying that something has happened to someone because of you didn't take enough consideration. So that's what we do. We try and make sure that wherever we find the minerals or the rocks, we can get there safely. I think that's the best way to explain what I do.
Okay, go next. A mining engineer is responsible for the extraction of minerals. So a geologist will tell us there is a mineral deposit that is viable to extract, or you can make profit if you extract it, but they don't know how to actually take it out of the ground. So mining engineer is the engineer who is then responsible to extract that mineral from the ground in the most efficient ways, and also in making sure that no one is put at risk. So also considering safety aspects as well as sustainability while we are taking out the minerals from the ground. Once we extract the minerals from the ground, we actually don't take them out in their pure form. So if it's zinc, we don't take out zinc on its own, we'll take out zinc with other minerals. So we then give that material to the metallurgical engineers or your process engineers to process the material and extract the minerals from that material that we give them, which has so a lot of material. So we do the extraction and then they do the processing to get the exact or the final product. A day in my life, I work or I'm responsible for an operation team. So it's a team that's operating machines to move sand and close to the Atlantic Ocean. So moving sand next to the beach. So a day in my life will be a combination of site visits, going out in the field just to check whether the team is still set up in such a way that we can achieve the target for the day and also for the month and the year. In order to make, if there are any hazards that either the machines or the people that are working there can get exposed to and get any unwanted events. And if I pick up any deviations, communicate that to the relevant people to close out those deviations. If I'm not in the field, then also in the office, we actually have daily meetings with different stakeholders because we actually have a lot of processes within the mining team. So we always have a daily production meeting, just reviewing the performance of yesterday, including safety performance, and also just aligning with the plan for the day. And then after that, there are other alignment and again feedback sessions. In addition with that, as I said, we work with people, so you also get to join meetings just to either attend to people's concerns or people's inputs that we need to work on to ensure that we keep on achieving our targets. So it's really a combination of site visits, in meetings, sort of people management here and there. Thanks.
All right. I think I'm going to after Evelina, but probably just give a different perspective because we are all mining engineers, similar to what she just said. But essentially, mining engineers are just responsible for the safely extraction of mineral resources from the ground to further process and turn that into product that people can actually use on a daily basis. So if you mine diamonds, a raw product that is further transformed into something that an everyday person can actually relate to. So it can be a necklace, it can be a ring, it can be anything else. So essentially that is what mining engineering is all about. Currently, as a process manager for Orange River Mines, I am responsible for all the mining operations in terms of activities and processes. So looking from stripping, load and haul, drill and blast. And typically my day include getting to the office first and having a cup of coffee. That's very important. And then, and then engaging with the production teams in terms of understanding areas where we are mining, just to make sure that what they are doing, they're actually doing it safely, and also ensuring that in terms of compliance, we are compliant to our in-house company policies and procedures, which is actually key. And then lastly, just looking at the quality of our work, just not to mine irresponsibly. So mining responsibly, ensuring that we are mining in the right area, we are not causing any harm to the environment. So I think ultimately what you do as a mining engineer is just to ensure that whatever it is that you are mining and moving in terms of earth from the ground, you are doing it efficiently. You are also doing it safely, which is a very important element in mining because you don't want to go around harming employees and people. So that's actually one of our very key values in mining. And lastly, just without causing any harm to the environment, because that is also a very important aspect. You don't want to just create holes and just leave it as it is. So the most critical thing that we do for RM is the concurrent rehab. So we try as much as we can to leave the earth the way we actually found it. And yeah, that's really mining engineering in short.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, mentors, for sharing about your different careers and what you do on a day-to-day basis. It sounds interesting. Okay, so we're gonna move over to the question and answer session. So I hope that the girls in Rashpina, the girls in Oranghood are ready to ask questions. So I'm going to open up the floor. Maybe they can come to the front and ask questions, Charity and Gloria, and then you can direct your question to a specific engineer or to the group, whoever you feel you need to get some sort of answer from. That's completely fine.
Good morning.
How did you navigate
Charity,
So the
I think
question,
somebody.
yeah,
Okay.
the question is, first there was a good morning reach out, shout out to everyone. And then the question, and then the question was, how did you, it's a general question to the group of engineers, how did you navigate a male dominated environment?
Who feels like taking this one?
I can take it. It's a fun one for me. Okay. So let me just cover up so I don't distract anybody. Okay. So working in a male-dominated environment is tough. It's not easy. You have to deal with a lot of the all-boys club and a lot of questioning of your knowledge. You get questioned a lot. You need to prove that you know what you know. So in navigating this male-dominated environment, it is both important to be aware of your strengths, understand who you are, understand what you know, understand why you're here. You are here to do a job. You are here to grow in your career. You are here to make a difference. So knowing all of that will sort of guide you in your decision making. Lean into your softness. Don't become hard. Don't try to be a man. You're not a man. But your softness is your strength. And knowing that will guide you in a lot of your decisions. And they will sort of make you the token, yes, that's the word, token for all other women. So when you do something, it's all women, but when a man does something, it's just him. Always remember that. So I think that's generally how I do it. I know why I'm here. I know what I came to do, and I'm going to do the best job that I can do. I am aware that there are girls who are following behind me. So I try to do a good enough job so that the next girl doesn't have to live down my legacy. And I kind of have fun while doing it, because otherwise there's no point. So that's it. Lean into your softness. Don't become hard. Don't be a man. Be a woman. Make your decisions to the best of your ability. I don't know if that helps.
Thank you, Victoria. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome.
We have a question here.
So to the woman that just answered, what is the challenge that you face as a woman to be a mine worker, as an engineer? The challenge that you face.
In terms of, there's many challenges in general. Being a mine worker, you're far from your family, far from like that life, that city life. I think that's one challenge. Two, probably your dress code. I put a lot more thought and energy into how I dress for the workplace, especially when you have just the tiniest bit of curve. It just, you have to a lot more than you would like to, because it's like is the dress too short? Is it too revealing? Is the top too this? It's like, it's a lot more thought and energy than you would like. And then just in meetings, you have to learn to speak up, because they will speak over you. They will interrupt you, and they will they will explain something you just explained 5 seconds ago, and they will make it seem like it's a brand new idea. And you need to learn to say, I wasn't done, or can I please finish? And you need to stand up for yourself and be firm. I think those are the 3 main challenges I have experienced and had to learn a lot about.
Wow, thank you so much, Victoria. I'd like to hear from Evelina as well. Maybe she can answer that question too. What are the challenges that you faced?
Okay, maybe I'll talk to general challenges that we face in the mining industry, and not necessarily as a woman. It's fine. So I think for me, one challenge in the mining industry is, as an engineer, or like most of other engineers in other disciplines, they always work towards precision. So if you say you design this, or you want something to have these certain measurements or shape or stuff, you try to get as close as possible to that precision. But in mining, unfortunately, you are working with big machineries. You are working in constantly changing environments. So it's always a bit difficult to sort of reach that high precision that you would want to reach. As an example, in open pit mining, you have benches which almost look like steps. So you would have a design that's talking to a step must have, for example, 10 meters. But because of first blasting activities, and then again after blasting, the machines that will come in and take out the material, chances are high that you will never get that 10 meters benches. You maybe get 9 or 8.5. And so I think for me, one challenge has always been that we don't really get close to what we have in designs in mining. There's always like a difference between what you have, what the design says, and what you get. But although there's always a difference, obviously we always make sure that the difference doesn't put the business at risk in terms of maybe losing out on money or putting people's lives at risk. But that's something that always frustrates me, the fact that we can't get to 90% precision of the designs because of those different aspects of mining.
So good. Thank you so much, Evelina. Okay, I see there's let's go with Orangahmood first, and then we'll go to Roshpina. I see somebody sitting there itching to ask her question.
Is it scary working in a mining? You guys hear? She's Albertina sitting in front of you. She's asking if it's scary to work in the mining environment.
I think if I can take that, I wouldn't say it's actually scary to actually work in the mining industry, because over the years, the mining industry in terms of safety, it has really evolved. So we actually have very good safety system in place. And I think over the years, there's been quite a lot of focus in terms of making our environment and our mines safe for our workers. So there's actually a lot of investment that goes into making mines safe in general. And as part of our daily task as engineers and as employees for the mines is really taking ownership of our own safety and for our colleagues. So ultimately, we ensure that there are proper controls in place to make sure that the mines are safe for people. So it's actually not scary at this stage at all. But the risk is still there, but it's definitely mitigated a lot better.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I wanted to ask about the Mandela Washington program. Can we get a highlight on the program? And then I was hoping on meeting an electrical engineer. I wanted to ask whether instrumentation falls under electrical engineer.
Okay. So my field falls actually under the electrical engineering field. So it's a subcategory of electrical engineering. And then you get instrumentation, but we call it electronics. And then after electronics, the technicians are the CNI guys. So it's the instrumentation guys. Then you have the electronics engineer, and then electrical engineering. That's how that field is mapped. Okay. And then in terms of the Mandela Washington Fellowship, what exactly do you want to know? Oh, I met Joe Cole, by the way. He took my number. I was in the same room as Michelle Obama's husband, Barack Obama, in the final days. What exactly do you want to know about the program? I can give a bit of light on it. Just need to know what exactly you want to know.
I recently joined a LTI and we just heard about the program. So I wanted to ask what they offer actually. And
okay. So the Mandela Washington Fellowship is Barack Obama's initiative, obviously, where they take 1,000 Africans, right, through a 6-week course under the leadership themes of business and sustainability. There's one on social innovation and one under political sciences, right? So they place you in a university. So I was privileged to go to Rutgers University, which is in New York, not New York, I think, not New York, but one of those, they have this funny names, which is just a few hours from New York. And then, yeah, they just take you through the coursework. And one of the advantages that you get from it is your network, right? I now know, I think 30 other Africans, right, that I can call up on if I need anything. If I'm in South Africa, I'm in Uganda, I'm in Ghana. And also it opens up you can never take away from, what's the word I'm looking for? It just takes you out of your own comfort zone, and then you see the world differently, man. It opens your perspective. You're not just narrow-minded. You don't just see things, and which I think also has helped me in my career, because then you understand where the world is going. As engineers, like I think Atu had alluded to, we are futurists. So we need to understand where the world is going in terms of technology. And Africa, unfortunately, we're a bit behind. So when you get out of your comfort zone, you see what is actually happening, and then you bring it back, and then you say, okay, you know what? We're not there yet, but we can at least, I don't want to say dumb it down, but we can at least bring it down to our level. So yeah, if you do want to apply, I think the applications just closed or they're closing. But if you do want to apply for next year, I'm open to taking you through the process and assisting you with your application.
Thank you.
Look at you guys making connections already. That's incredible. This is like networking 101. I think there's a girl ready for us on charity side.
So what are your subject choices? What were your subject choices in high school? And the second question is, what are the chances of being?
Did you guys hear? All right, so Tileni is asking, what subject choices did you choose for your respective fields? And in terms of your respective fields, currently in the market, what are the chances of being employed?
Okay, if I can take that, you would definitely need mathematics and physical science. I think this time around physical science is split between physics and chemistry. So you would need that to get admitted for engineering, I think all the disciplines. And K English, I think that's still fine since all the learners in grade 12 for high school are doing English. So you need to have good points in mathematics and physical science. Okay, NAST specifically, if I'm not mistaken, they used to call for at least more than 30 points in your 5 subjects. Talking under correction, I'm not sure how it is now, but they also work on taking the best students first. So passing is not enough. If you want to get in, you actually need to make sure that you get higher points, just to be part of the people that get selected to do engineering. And then chances of getting employed at the moment, I would say, compared to the time that we're still in university, or also around the time that we graduated around 2017, the market has actually changed. I've seen a lot of the people that we graduated with who were actually at home for like 2-3 years, but for the past 2 to this year, a lot of people have been taken up in the market. So the market is looking good. And you don't necessarily, talking now for mining engineering, you don't necessarily need to work for a mining company. A lot of my classmates are in the banking industry. Some are actually working for the banks. So it's quite a diverse career. You don't necessarily need to work in one industry. I hope that answered your question.
Thanks, Evelina.
And then in my field, you're guaranteed a job. I don't know whether you guys have seen how technology is now the thing. And also what we call, I think it's called a nomad something, where now companies are actually looking for, it doesn't matter where you are based, right? So you can literally work from home. You can work for a company in the UK or in the US and you're still in Namibia, right? Because that's what technology has allowed for. And with my career, you can literally work from anywhere and for anyone. So you are definitely guaranteed a job. Or you can work for yourself as well, become an entrepreneur. I mean, the world is your oyster. You don't necessarily have to work for somebody. So I'm just gonna put my plug in my.
We just have one more question.
How easy was it for you to get finance to go study? What routes did you follow?
Did you guys hear? All right. So the question is, how easy was it for you to get financed for your studies? And what routes did you follow to get financed to be able to study?
Okay, I'll take this one. What financing for me was mostly, I got a bursary from NAMDEB, right? And then in order to get a bursary, you need to have very, very good marks, right? So it's not just, so you need to have very, very good marks. And there's a lot of bursaries out there right now, actually, for engineers. And then before that, there's also options of loans. I know you can get a study loan. And some parents actually take out policies for their kids, study policies. So scholarship, bursaries, and policies, I think that's how most of us made it through or got financing. What was the second part of the question?
No, I think that covers it.
Cool.
Great, thank you so much. Roshpina?
Okay, I wanted to know if is it possible to study engineering at university if you never had science subjects at high school?
Okay, I will jump in here maybe. It's not impossible. It's really very possible. You could probably do anything, even if you haven't had the subjects. It's just more difficult because first year you'll have pre-calculus. So if you didn't do mathematics up to a certain level, you're really gonna have a lot. If you didn't have physics, you're gonna have catching up to do. So basically everything is a foundation for the next stage, right? So if you can apply and based on your grades, they might accept you. You just have to be prepared mentally for that extra push where you know that, okay, my differentiation, integration, I need to catch up on this. So you have to put in that extra effort. If you don't know your gravity, your acceleration, you need to catch up on it. But it's not impossible at all. I did my master's in civil engineering, focusing on geotechnical. I had never done anything, I didn't do undergrad civil, but I was able to catch up because I was willing to do the extra work for all the other engineering subjects I had never had before. So it is possible to shortly answer your question.
Thank you.
How do you actually become
All right. So the question is for the mining engineers, how do you become your own boss if there's no mine?
That's a very interesting question. But it's definitely possible. You can be your own boss, regardless of whether there is a mine or not. I think, like Evelina said, it's quite a diverse industry as well. You can opt to work for yourself, set up your own consultancy. If you're registered with the Engineering Council of Namibia, you can actually be a consultant and be able to provide your service to other mining operations within Namibia and beyond. But you can also venture into other areas, be it project management, be it banking, and find a sweet spot for yourself that you think you have got the skill and you're able to market that and be able to sell it to whoever your clients might be. And I think, yeah, it's pretty possible to be your own boss. It's just a matter of identifying what it is that you actually want to provide. What sort of service are you willing to provide, at what price, and is there a market for something like that? And you can also, yeah, it's not really to be your own boss, but I mean, you can also venture into the academic sector. You can offer part-time lecturing services. That's also at your own leisure, or tutoring. That's also another path that you can take to be your own boss. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Curry. I just want to let everyone know that we're quickly running out of time, which is sad. So unfortunately, this will have to be the last question from each location that the mentors can take, and then you can continue with the rest of your program for today. I'm sure there's lots of food and people are excited to eat. So let's go with Roshina first.
Good morning. I wanted to ask, how many points do I need in my science subjects and math to do biomedical engineering?
What we had last time, we had people from the different institutions where they were in a better position to answer these questions, right? So what to prospectus, they have that information in detail, like what engineering fields they offer. But also, you don't have to limit yourself to actually go to the stage and also ensure that they are accredited, right? Because what you you don't want to spend so much money and only to find that it's from those institutions. And then they'll give you the details of how many points you need, what the requirements are, if they're bridging courses, and etc.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Tips and advices for aspiring engineers.
Tips and advice for inspiring engineers. Aspiring engineers.
I think this is a great time.
Just repeat the question again.
The question is just around tips and advice to aspiring engineers.
Okay, I would say focus in the controls of in the circle of your controls. So basically the things that are in your controls. So at school, seek for help if there's anything that you don't understand. And also just consult people that are already in those or engineers or the universities that are offering those courses, just to make sure that you make the right selection. So like they say, there's a variety of engineering courses. So just make sure that you invest a lot of time in exploring which one is actually the best for you, not to end up doing something and later want to change to something else. Thanks.
Yeah, I think just adding on to that, what Evelina just mentioned, I think it's important that you do your research as much as you can, just to learn about the field that you think you want to pursue in terms of engineering. So do as much research as you can. And if possible, find yourself a mentor. I'm sure from the panel, you might relate to someone that you'd want to have further conversation on in terms of engineering, and then they can actually assist you in giving you more information that it can actually help you on the way. And I think just be willing to work as hard, work really, really hard, and just give it your best. Thanks.
I'll take a stab at it. For me, I think knowing yourself first, and people change. Yeah? I'm hearing what the other two are saying. Do your research, yes. Get into a field that you like, but if midway you feel like, it's not me, I've changed. It's okay to change your mind, try something else, right? You shouldn't conform to one standard. What works for Karin or what works for Evelina won't necessarily work for me, right? And also surround yourself with a supporting tribe. There was a question that earlier on of how we navigate as women in a very male-dominated industry. Having a very supportive tribe also helps, because then you can also lean on them when you're not feeling too confident. They also assist to help with if you have issues and things like that. And don't be afraid to fail. I know at school we're told do not fail, right? But by failing, I mean, don't be afraid of trying something new because you're scared. You'll get reprimanded and things like that. No, as long as you've taken the necessary risks into consideration, yeah, and that's how we learn. And don't also be afraid to say when you don't know, I don't know, I need help. Can you assist me? And coming into this industry, we were not really told those things. I wish somebody had told me. It would have helped a lot. And yeah, and I think Victoria mentioned it, lean into your softness. As women, we're not meant to be men, right? Our strength comes from being soft. So lean into that. You don't have to exude masculine energy and anything like that. No, as a woman, you are worthy, right? And the world is your oyster. If you put your mind to it, you work hard, and there's nothing you can't do. That's my sending off words.
I don't know, is there still time for me to add anything?
Yes, please.
The thing that guides me in all my decisions, if you check back in 5 years, I might not even be an engineer anymore. Like, it's wild. But the highlight is to always have fun in everything you do. At the end of the day, you spend a lot of time at work. You spend, what percentage is it? Is it a third? A third of your life is spent working. And it's not going to be very good if you don't like even just a few aspects of it. So in all that you do, and it might be very wishy-washy to say, find what you love, but find what you enjoy. First, find what you can handle. And in the process, you might find what you love. And yeah, let that guide you, like, in everything that you do. Yes, the money is nice, but apparently above a certain amount of money, your happiness doesn't grow. So I don't know what that amount is. I'm still looking. Let everybody know that I haven't quite encountered that amount. But in all that you do, try and have a little bit of fun. Try and enjoy it as much as you can, and let that guide you. You know, find a good working environment, find a healthy place to work if you can, and enjoy what you do. You're going to spend a lot of time doing it. So yeah.
Awesome. Ladies, if I may, I just want to, before we entirely wrap up, my name is Charity Jefta. I'm the Human Resources Development Superintendent for NAMDEC. And I just want to say to the ladies that presented today, you are awesome. You're inspiring. I feel inspired. I want to so much change my career right now. I just don't know which way I'm going to go, you know. So thank you so much for that value input that you've shared. Women, thank you for making this happen for us. Roshpina, ladies there, thank you so much for rocking up today. I know this is a Saturday, and we appreciate and we hope you've learned a lot as much as we have. This will not be the last you see of us or hear from us. And certainly, if there are any questions that have cropped up, please share them. Make sure we get them, and we will ensure that we answer them for you, and consult across all spheres that we can to get you an answer. All right, so don't give up. And I just want to reiterate, keep pushing that status quo, ladies. You know, keep pushing, never stop. When you fall down, dust yourself off and get up again, because that's the only way you're going to reach. You're going to build on your journey. Right? And we're here for your support. We can all be your tribe. Awesome. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Apologies, ladies. The head girl would also like to extend her thanks to the team.
Good morning. Of South Club Secondary School, we would just like to thank you from your business and help us understand more about the world of engineering. We really learned a lot, and we are more motivated and confident to take on the path of engineering, and we appreciate what you do, so thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, guys. My heart is so warm. I think we can just give a big round of applause for our speakers on the call. Thank you so much, speakers. And let's also give a big round of applause for our teachers who are with us today. And let's not forget Charity and Gloria, without whom this event would not even have been possible. Amazing. This was the best way to spend my morning, to be honest. So I'm really grateful to everyone for coming, for spending your time with us this morning. We really hope it was impactful and you feeling more enriched and more equipped to know what it means to become an engineer going forward. So from us, as final steps or next steps, we do have a WhatsApp group for girls who've attended sessions like this or some of the in-person sessions we have. And it's a group of girls, like over 100 girls from Namibia, Botswana, and South Africa, who are really interested in knowing more about engineering. We also have some engineers on there, so they ask questions, they get to network. If you would like to be a part of that group, if you have more questions or more burning questions, we'll share the link with Gloria, and hopefully you can be added onto the group as well. I'm having a bit of a technical difficulty with my camera. I do apologize. I need an engineer to help me. But aside from that, thank you so much. Please enjoy the rest of your Saturday and the rest of your program. Have lots of fun. And from us, it is goodbye.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you guys
girls.
so much.
Have
And
a
thank
good
you, Roshmina
day.
and Ranyamund. Hope everyone has a lovely